A secret WWE contract has been revealed, and this AEW contract is coming to an end. But first, there is an air of optimism backstage in AEW. Over recent weeks, All Elite Wrestling have had several business developments take place, including the announcement of a show in Wembley Stadium, a successful Forbidden Door pay-per-view, a brand new Saturday night television show, Collision, and the release of the company's first ever console game. Speaking with SE Scoops this week, the Blackpool Combat Club's Wheeler Yuta would discuss the backstage atmosphere in AEW right now, noting that things are more positive than recent reports have suggested, and he would say, "I'm the kind of person who likes to keep to myself and do my own thing and focus on what I'm doing, but the general vibe for myself and everyone is just excitement. We know we have these huge events coming up. We just came from Forbidden Door, which was an incredible show. We are going to Wembley Stadium. We have All In, All Out, and so many great things. We have a Fight Forever video game. It's exciting to see all these things we really have been working toward and hoping for coming to fruition. There is an air of optimism that wants to continue to grow and be successful." The interview comes off the back of a recent claim from Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer that the divisiveness in AEW is worse than it ever has been, with many talents and reports since debunking this theory. We can now add Wheeler Yuta to the list of people claiming that things remain positive. And before we carry on, let me just quickly promote the latest upload on the WrestlePlanet gaming channel, where we discuss 10 AEW stars that are missing from Fight Forever and what this means for the future of the video game. And next up, let's find out when this major WWE return was agreed. At Money in the Bank this past weekend, Drew McIntyre would appear inside a WWE ring for the first time since WrestleMania, with him confronting WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther at the end of his title defense over Matt Riddle, with the two now likely set to battle at the upcoming SummerSlam event. Throughout his hiatus, several reports have emerged over why Drew has been absent from television, citing reported unhappiness with creative as well as upcoming contract renegotiations. Well, in an update from PW Insider, we now know when his return was agreed upon, with things falling into place in the days leading up to the London event, and the report notes, "As we have been reporting for weeks, WWE wanted Drew McIntyre to return by Money in the Bank. That process had been impeded, according to sources, by McIntyre wanting a strong storyline upon his return. WWE got what they wanted as the two sides came to an agreement over the last few days leading into the pay-per-view." PW Insider would also confirm that Drew's contract situation has not changed and that new terms for a new deal have yet to be agreed. The two sides are reportedly yet to enter into negotiations, although his deal is expected to end in early 2024. Next up, a top AEW star has won championship gold in New Japan Pro-Wrestling. Yesterday and today, NJPW would present the Independence Day two-night event from Tokyo, Japan, with there being many title changes across both nights. A current All Elite Wrestling talent would appear on the show to defend their gold, this when Willow Nightingale put her NJPW Strong Women's title on the line against Julia of Stardom. It was Julia that walked away as the winner in this one, with Willow's 45-day inaugural reign coming to an end. This wasn't all for AEW involvement, however, as Eddie Kingston would manage to score the company New Japan gold later in the night, when he managed to defeat Kenta for the Strong Openweight Championship. The win kicks off Kingston's first championship reign in New Japan Pro-Wrestling, and his first ever title win in what would be considered a major national company. In other AEW news from the shows, Jon Moxley would headline both nights, first losing the no disqualification Doomsday match, where he teamed with Homicide to take on Jun Kasai and El Desperado. This was before he defeated Desperado in the main event of Night 2 in a match that was billed as the final death match. However, I think we all know that this won't be Mox's final death match. And speaking of New Japan, one wrestler that has made an impact in the promotion as of late is Mercedes Moné, this following her departure from WWE at the start of the year. A name synonymous with the career of the former Sasha Banks is WWE's Bayley, with the two being former tag team champions together, as well as longtime in-ring rivals. Speaking with Inside the Ropes this week, Bayley would be asked about the possibility of joining the CEO in Japan, something that she wouldn't rule out entirely, although the style may not be for her. and she would say, "I think what she's doing is incredible, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it. That Japanese style is intense. I'm a little too old for that. She can go ahead and do all that. She's braver than I am. She's way more athletic than I am, so she can do all that stuff and I'll support her the whole time. If something were to happen and I was able to go experience different things like that, we'll see. But right now, my body will say no." The comments follow a recent call from Bayley for Mercedes to return to WWE, noting that this is a request that she makes to her every day. For now though, the boss and Hug connection remain apart, however we can likely expect a reunion at some point, whether it be in WWE or Japan. And next we have news of a secret WWE contract. Former NXT Tag Team Champion Tyler Breeze would find himself on the WWE chopping block in June 2021. This when he was released from the company alongside tag team partner Fandango and many other names that were let go at the time. Since then, his appearances in wrestling have dried up, with him opting to focus his energy on his Flat Backs training school, investments outside of wrestling, as well as making appearances on the Up Up Down Down YouTube channel alongside Xavier Woods as part of the Battle of the Brand series. Well, it looks like these appearances required a deal to be signed, as Fightful Select would reveal last night that Breeze is once again under contract with WWE, and whilst this doesn't prevent him from making wrestling appearances outside of the company, it does have a non-AEW clause in place, and the report notes, Fightful Select has learned that Tyler Breeze has been under a deal with WWE specifically tied to the Up Up Down Down brand for quite some time. We have not learned if the deal has any wrestling provisions or restrictions associated with it, outside of a WWE source saying that it does prevent him from appearing on AEW programming. Breeze was recently announced for his in-ring return at an upcoming Prestige Wrestling event on September 1st, another sign that he is allowed to work outside dates. However, don't expect him to show up on TBS or TNT anytime soon. Next up, this AEW contract is coming to an end. WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross would be the voice of All Elite Wrestling throughout the early years of the promotion, being a regular commentator on AEW Dynamite. Most recently, JR would be announced as 1/3 of the AEW Collision booth, although a fall prior to the first episode saw him being pulled from the following shows in order to take time to heal. Speaking on his Grilling JR podcast this week, Jim would give an update on when he could return to the company before confirming that his All Elite Wrestling contract is coming to an end, and he would say, "I will be back. I will continue working. My contract with AEW is still in place. I don't have a lot of time left on it, but I've got enough. I'm not concerned about that. Either I'm retained or I'm not. I'm just going to take it a day at a time and see how it works out, but I enjoy working for AEW. It's fun to be part of a setup. I said that when I was hired. It's great to see all these young guys start to come into their own, and I'd love to be there for the rest of the journey to help guide them along the way, almost in a talent relations type situation. I enjoy helping these kids." JR's contract is expected to expire sometime in late 2023, with him revealing in May 2022 that he had recently signed an 18-month extension. It's unclear which month the deal was actually signed in, however, although it will be sometime in December at the very latest. And before you go, remember to check out 10 AEW stars missing from the AEW Fight Forever video game.